So after we've built a good shooting position, we verified our sight alignment and sight picture looks good, then our focus shifts to our breathing and our trigger control. So when we're in position, we're ready to take a shot, we have a breathing pattern. We have a breathing cycle. We breathe in, you breathe out, and you have a natural respiratory pause, 1 to 2 seconds, few seconds long. That's where we want to be manipulating the trigger and taking our shot. A way that we kind of assess this is we're in position, looking through the optic at our target. And as we breathe in, you take a breath in, take a breath out, verify my sight picture looks good. I should see a good fall when I breathe in of the reticle and then rise as I let all that air out of my lungs. So, and it should be good and vertical, right? It's like nice and vertical rise and fall of the reticle. And that's verifying like, yes, I am connected to the rifle the way I'm supposed to, and I'm set up for a shot. If I get a weird angle out of the reticle, maybe it's veering off to the left or right, or maybe wiggling around in some figure 8 pattern or something like that, that's telling me I need to assess my position. Maybe I'm not connected to the rifle properly. Something's not right with my position, and I should take a look at it. So I want to go ahead and do that until I get that good vertical rise and fall of the reticle, and then I'm set up to take a shot. After I verified that with my breathing pattern, then my focus goes to how I'm actually manipulating the trigger. So we mentioned earlier that there's 2 missions of the shooting hand. One is to hold the rifle in my shoulder, right? Firmly hold the rifle in my shoulder. And the next is to actually manipulate the trigger straight into the rear, right? And we want to be conscious of how we're doing this. We don't necessarily want a setup on target, ready to shoot, and then we just get a running start on the trigger. That's a pretty common error. Happens quite often. It's the last little bit of input into the rifle before the shot breaks, and we tend to do something to the rifle that causes us to miss the target. So we just want to be very conscious of how we're actually doing this. When we're in position and we're ready to shoot, I'm set up on my target. I breathe in, breathe out, and then it's just steady pressure straight into the rear. Right? There's no quick knee-jerk reaction. When I do that and I press the trigger really quickly, we can have sympathetic responses in our hand that cause us to tighten up the rifle, maybe move the rifle, and again, miss the shot. So we just want to be very conscious of how we're doing this. We need to make sure that we're holding the rifle firmly in our shoulder, and as we're doing that, we're manipulating the trigger at the same time and accomplishing both of those missions when sight picture is at its best. So this is a very valuable place to spend your time with dry fire. You can do this safely at home with the gun unloaded, obviously, in a safe spot in your house. Just setting up in a good shooting position and practice manipulating the trigger at the right time in our breathing cycle. We breathe in, breathe out, and just nice steady pressure straight into the rear. I read the reticle. Am I doing anything to the gun during that process? Is it a good trigger press? Maybe the reticle didn't move at all, felt good. But if I am moving the gun, I want to address that. Maybe it's my grip of the shooting hand I need to fix, the angle with my wrist, how I'm actually connecting to the trigger. Maybe I need to shift that around or pick a different spot on my finger to manipulate that, ensure that I actually do have that 90 degree straight into the rear trigger press. So this is a really good place to spend your time. Practice dry firing, assess your position, assess how you manipulate the trigger, and that really sets you up for success in long range shooting in the future.